Are you ready, kids?
Oh. Hey, guess what, Zach?
What?
We just transitioned.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Captain. Wait, that's copyrighted.
Yeah.
That's copyrighted. Hey!
Hello.
Welcome to this episode of the King Smith Podcast. It's been a little bit, hasn't it?
It has been a little bit. Suffice it to say,
We're busy.
we were busy.
We have lives.
Yeah, one, we were busy. Number two, we were talking about things about the podcast. What we're going to be doing next.
This is true.
What we want to do, what we want to do with some of the stuff we've been doing.
Yeah.
So we have 1.5 announcements. I'll say that.
What, yeah.
1.5.
We do kind of 1.5 announcements.
1.5 announcements.
Can we start with the half announcement?
The half announcement is, yay, guess what? The day after we record this, March 4th, is the 1-year anniversary of the King Smith podcast.
Whoa, we made a year.
We made a year.
We did it.
This was the first time we recorded, edited it, and
I remember that.
released on the Spotify's.
We were on Spotify.
We were on Spotify for a while there. Then
Yeah.
we transitioned to season 2. and
Video time.
we made videos, which segues into announcement
Yes.
number 1, or the full announcement.
Full announcement. Yeah.
Kind of. But yeah. Oh wait, we forgot to mention that. So the reason the half announcement is a half announcement is because we already kind of announced the other half.
This is true.
So for a while we've been talking about releasing season 1, which was basically just the Spotify only content on YouTube. So as a celebration, quote unquote, of the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, that's gonna happen, or we're planning on making that happen.
It's gonna take a sec to figure out, but
yeah, we're gonna figure. Basically, what we're gonna do is within the next, I'd say, week or so, depending on how much I pester Nathan about it.
that's fair.
We are going to figure out and release season 1 on the YouTube.
It will eventually get itself onto YouTube. It might take a second to figure out, but I don't think it'll be that bad. But.
Okay, now on to the full announcement.
Yes.
For I don't know what reason we will use this. For several reasons. Mainly, we don't really see the need in it.
The season stuff?
Yeah, the season stuff. We are not going to be doing like seasons of the podcast anymore, unless we know we're going to be taking
an extended break.
An extended break, like we did between
technical breaks.
Like we did between seasons 1 and 2. So, functionally, that might look like all right. We're back.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties.
Computer got angry with me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
So, to continue, like I was saying, functionally, on the channel, you might see us separate, make playlists for seasons, like season 1, season 2, season 3, season whatever. Mm-hmm. We will not be making a big deal out of it unless we're unless we're having a massive break in between.
Right.
Okay, so with all that done,
with all that said,
and with all the technical difficulties out of the way, hopefully, let's get into what we were going to talk about. If you remember a couple episodes ago.
Oh, you in Job?
Yeah, I'm in Job.
Okay.
You're going to see where I'm going to go with this. But for the audience, a couple episodes ago, we were...
I think I get it. Okay.
Yeah. A couple episodes ago, we took we started a conversation about God's justice versus human justice, how sin kind of affected our justice, and...
Yeah.
How different our justice is from God's justice. And then we took a break for the Super Bowl because the Chiefs won.
It was a Super Bowl. We got to.
And
then we talked about something else in there.
And we talked about a few other things, yeah. No, anyway, but we promised a part 2 to that episode, and this is
the part 2.
This is the part 2. So
Where did we leave off in that episode? Do you remember?
no idea.
I can't remember neither.
but I remember where I was gonna go if we had continued that episode. So
Yeah.
So if we weren't gonna do a part 2, and we were just gonna do like one continuous cut. Anyway,
We probably should have done that last time.
anyway, yeah,
My bad.
yeah, it's all right. Anyway, so to basically summarize, what that episode was talking about. Yes, our justice and God's justice is different.
I remember where I was at.
Where were you at?
I had been talking about the court system in America and how people take the biblical context out
Right.
when it comes to lawsuits and that kind of thing.
Right.
At least in this country.
At least in this country, yes.
Yeah.
Just people take the Bible out of it.
Well, more so people misconstrue
Right.
the passage on suing other Christians.
Exactly. And
I see. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And I was heading. You were going one way. I think we were going in slightly different directions. Because you were going.
Were we?
We might have. I don't.
I thought we ended up agreeing.
Yeah, we agreed, but not in that way. We were just. You were going one direction, and I was. My planning in the
One direction.
Where?
That will never not be a joke.
I know.
The band.
Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things, like, I think one of us was focusing on, how human justice has been warped, and then
right.
like you were focusing on that, and then I was focusing on like God's justice.
Right.
So, Nathan,
Yes.
the reason I have pulled up Job in my Bible, is honestly, this is basically a poetic. So if you want a deep dive into Job, go to season
watch
1.
Yeah, go listen to the Job.
Go to season
stuff.
1. We have 3 episodes. We have a 3-part series on that.
Yep.
And we have the pastor of Sherwood, David Pearson, on the last episode to talk about that. And he made some really good points, some things I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Like he talked about the creature to creator relationship, which is how we should treat our justice versus God's justice.
Right.
And so, he brought up that, which I thought was a good point. But to like heavily condense, and when I say heavily condense, I mean this is so heavily condensed, I don't even know if it's going to capture everything.
Oh, it won't. It most assuredly won't.
But to heavily condense the events of Job suffers a bunch of stuff in the first couple chapters. I know.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I warned you. I'm not going to.
His best friends didn't help.
Yeah. Job. Go read Job chapter 1 and 2 to get the details of the events. But Job basically lost everything in his life.
Right.
His wife was like, curse God and die. And he was like, no.
That is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Curse God and die.
No.
Access denied.
No. His friends at the end of chapter 2 do the only good thing they will ever do in the entire book.
And they will be quiet.
Which was sit there and be quiet for a whole week.
The minute they started opening their mouths.
And then Job, basically, chapter 3 is just an entire chapter of Job venting. Like, I don't know what's happening.
I'm a joke to my friends.
Job venting. And then basically chapters 4 to like 36, 37.
Pretty much, essentially. Basically when Elihu starts speaking, whenever that is.
Oh, wait.
Elihu's my dude, by the way.
Nope, it's earlier than chapter 36. Chapter 32.
Golly, Elihu's got like...
He's got like 3 chapters.
he's got more than that. 4.
He's got
5.
He's
Oh,
got-
wait.
He's got
Five.
about
5 chapters.
5. Yeah.
32 to 37.
So basically, until
Good job.
chapter 31, Job and his friends are having like this dialogue of the base assumption of all of them is God is just,
Right.
and then or they're discussing God being just.
Right. Right. He's just, but
He's just, but Job's like, but I'm innocent.
right.
That's Job's entire argument is, but I'm innocent, which is
He's self-righteous. That's what he's trying to say.
you're right.
He's saying, I am righteous above all else. And God is giving a firm reminder, no, you are not.
Then Elihu is just like, for 5 chapters, like, you are idiots. Tell me I'm wrong.
he does kind of say that. He's like, I thought that being older gives you more wisdom, and now I realize, no, it's just about if you're
it's just about
actually
about the
spiritual.
Weather. Yeah. And, so Elihu, which is like Elihu, he's not an Israelite, but he has an Israelite name, which is interesting. Which is something
It is kind of, yeah.
It's interesting.
It
We
is.
talked a little bit about
We
it.
did talk about that.
But anyway.
It is weird.
But then chapter 38 comes, and like from chapter 38 to the beginning of chapter 42-ish.
Right.
Yeah. So the first half of chapter 42 is God putting Job in his place, and like, listen here.
Listen here, princess.
Listen here. He's just like, listen. And most of that time is God just absolutely drilling Job with every detail of creation.
Right.
Right.
Well,
not every detail, but
a lot of details.
A lot of details about creation.
Yep.
Like, okay, I'm going to start reading in chapter 38, verse 1. And
here, I just pulled it up.
Yep. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. So, God appears in this whirlwind, and then he talks to Job. He's just like, who is this who obscures my counsel with ignorant words? Listen here. He's like, listen here, idiot.
It's kind of rough.
Get ready to answer me like a man when I question you. You will
tell
inform me.
Where were you?
Where were you when I established the earth? Tell me if you have understanding.
Tell me. Wait, Job. Teach me. I am God. Teach me.
Who fixed its dimensions? Certainly, Job. Certainly you know that, Job. Come on. Who stretched a measuring line across it? And for the sake of time, I'm not going to read like God's entire speech.
Job, in the middle of it, Job's like, well,
and God just says, answer me like a man, you baby.
I like Job chapter 40. Job answered the Lord and said, behold, I am insignificant. What can I reply to you? I lay my hand on my mouth. Once I've spoken, and I will not answer even twice, and I will add nothing more. That's kind of... He's still kind of holding on to a little bit of that self-righteous attitude in that. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm just not going to speak anymore. And
then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. Again, this is 40 verse 6. Get ready to answer me like a man when I question you.
Man up.
You will inform me. Which basically means get your panties out of wad.
I don't know if it's quite like that. More like, hey.
Pull up your bootstraps. That's better.
Like, Yeah, pull up your bootstraps,
Answer me.
comb your hair over, and tell me what is.
Answer these questions.
Put on your dress suit.
All right, verse 8.
Look pretty.
Yeah, verse 8, he says, "Would you really challenge my justice? Would you declare me guilty to justify yourself?" Verse 9, "Do you have an arm like God's?
That is so good.
Can you thunder with a voice like his?"
I mean, if he had a computer and some special effects and that kind of thing, I mean...
But he didn't.
If we went to Sight and Sound theaters...
But it didn't exist then. And even then, we have to use computers and special effects to do that. God can just do it.
That's true. That's very true. He could just be like, I am God. Thunderclap.
Yep. And later on in chapter 40, verse 15, "Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like cattle. Look at the strength of his back and the power in the muscles of his belly."
It's probably a dinosaur that he's talking about there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, the description in part agrees with a hippo. Parts with an elephant, but...
It could be a hippo.
They actually don't know.
Nobody.
Sorry, I've got the... I got Jameson Fawcett Brown commentary.
It's hard to know whether or not...
They don't know what it is, yeah.
It's hard to know whether or not it was a dinosaur or another creature, because we don't... We can assume what dinosaurs ate, but we really don't know.
It was probably like something that was like very big that was native to the area. So like in America, you know, in the 16 and 1700s, it was bison.
Right.
So over there, it was probably something along those lines.
It could have been a very large herbivorous dinosaur. And he's just like, look at Behemoth.
Yeah. Look at the freaking Bronchiosaurus.
Yeah. And
the giant neck.
Yeah. Brachiosaurus, Patasaurus. Pick your little foot.
Zachosaurus.
I'm not that big. Anyway. But pick your long-necked dinosaur that was just absolutely huge, and or like picture an absolutely massive creature that's just like.
Mm-hmm. And God's like, oh yeah, by the way, I made that.
I made that with you.
Yep.
And if you go back to Genesis 1, it's just God spoke and the animals came. So
God literally spoke it.
God was just like,
oh, Job, can you speak it?
Can you speak it? Chapter 41. This is just like a few verses later. Chapter 41, verses 1 and 2. "Can you pull in Leviathan with a hook, or tie its tongue down with a rope? Can you put a cord through his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook?" So,
I mean, technically speaking,
again, we don't know what
what
kind of creature this is. It could be a whale. It could be some other.
Watch, it's like a fly.
No, just a massive fly. So, God doesn't only talk about a land creature that's just like absolutely massive. When you think of the word behemoth, you think of just an absolutely enormous creature.
It doesn't actually say the size of Leviathan.
Right.
Well, it could be like a snake.
Right.
Or like a glorified turtle.
But
it's
again,
just a snapper.
But again, when people hear the word Leviathan,
I know.
When people hear the word Leviathan,
Leviathan,
they think it's just absolutely just massive mythical creature of
old,
and it just
of yore,
enormous proportions.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy, and again, throughout these entire from 39 basically to
42, the beginning of 42.
The beginning of 42. Oh, okay. The beginning of 42 is Job repenting.
Mm-hmm. Job repents, and then the Lord only speaks like 3 verses to the friends.
Right, but it's basically So basically, from the beginning of 39 to the end of 41, God is just peppering Job like, "Can you do all this, Job? Were you there when I established the earth? Look at these absolutely massive creatures that I have made. Can you contain them? Can you,
Yeah.
Can you can you basically catch an enormous fish?
Can you do it?
Can you do it, Job?
No.
Much less.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Much less speak them into creation without any other guidance. If you go back to Genesis 1 and 2, like literally, it's God spoke, it was made. God spoke, it was made. Until he got to man.
Right.
Man was the only part of creation that God specifically formed,
Right.
with his hands. But for the creatures of the sea, God spoke, it was made. The creatures of the birds, God spoke, it was made. The creatures and the creatures and the life on land, God spoke, it was made. So,
you know what's crazy to think about, Zach?
Yeah.
Job lived before the flood.
Yeah, most likely.
This is pre-flood. Well, it had to have been, because the book of Job is the oldest book.
Yep.
I think it's technically the oldest book recorded.
Yeah, probably.
So it would have to be pre-flood.
Yep.
Unless it was, no.
It was either pre-flood or very, very, very...
Very shortly after.
Again, that's kind of in that...
That's an interesting...
Uh,
well, we wouldn't have had... I guess it depends on the authorship.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have had... If it was written pre-flood, it would have been wiped out pre-flood.
Right.
Or in the flood. So the story might be... Yeah, I don't know.
We don't really
we don't know
much about Job, like the history.
The time period.
The time period of Job, I should say, yeah. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make with all this is, first of all, I got to talk about Job again.
I know you've been wanting to do that.
I've been wanting to talk about it again, just like do a short little episode on it. Now I have, so
You're welcome.
we're good. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make with God's first Job and his friends doing basically doing their talking and getting it. Did they get it wrong? Technically, no, but it was a very simplistic view of. They were taking a very simplistic view of their assumption was God is just, and I'm like, yes, God is just, but
Wait, I don't know if I'm tracking. So
the assumption of Job's friends, right? The presupposition I should say is that God is just, therefore Job must have done something.
Oh yeah, that's
God is just, therefore
at least one of them was that way.
Yeah, at least one of them was that.
That general mindset was kind of yeah. Okay.
And I think the other, even if the other two friends didn't talk about it, they were still on the track of Job.
It was in that direction.
Yeah, they were still on the track of Job did something wrong.
Job, you did it.
You're right.
You did something evil, or you need to be more good, or
the general presupposition
need to
was God is just, which is a very
better, you need to work out.
Yeah. The general presupposition, I think, of all of them was God is just. Therefore, Job, this is my argument as to why you did something wrong.
And then Job was like, I am the just.
And Job's entire argument, or entire counter, excuse me, coffee's starting to hit.
Nah, you good?
And Job's entire counter is basically, but I'm innocent. Which, again, is a simplistic view. Not that he's wrong.
Well, he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
Pre-chapter 5.
Right. He wasn't wrong in saying that he was, in assuming that he was innocent.
As soon as it turned self-righteous, he was wrong.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened.
But then again, God never God chastised him through the speeches, but he never said, Job, you have to do A, B, and C for me to forgive you for that.
No, actually, Job just repented after
Job repented.
God, or after he questioned God.
Yeah. So Job repented, and God didn't punish him, either because he repented or
No, it's because he repented.
yeah. Well, yeah. First of all, because he repented. Second of all, I think
God blew off some steam.
yeah, God blew off Elizabeth's team.
He was probably pretty mad with humanity at that point anyway.
You're right. Yeah, and I think God approved. Like Job struggled throughout the entire book.
Yeah, but at the end he did really well. So, I mean.
He was wrestling throughout the entire book of, is God just? Then why am I suffering?
Right.
Da 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 da. Just trying to balance those two thoughts in his head.
He had a son named Karen.
With his friends not helping his mental state.
Or sorry, had a daughter named Karen. Karen Habuk.
Okay, let's not focus on the names right now, Nathan.
Comedic relief, sorry.
But anyway, but God, and I think
That's dangerous.
yeah, I know. In my opinion, God, okay, he doesn't approve of what we say when we wrestle with the nature of the world.
Okay.
He doesn't approve of everything we say, especially if we do what Job did and come out and just like, God, you suck. And God's like, what the heck?
Whoa. That's pretty funny.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
But anyway, to the point, it's like he didn't approve of everything Job said, but because Job repented of it, he forgave him.
Right.
But also, he approved of Job saying, "I don't understand. Please explain."
Right.
That's again in the passage that comes back to me, or the verse that comes to my mind, is in Isaiah. I can't remember the exact verse, but God says it's God speaking. God saying, "Come, let us reason together."
46.
46. Yeah, I think it's like 40 something.
Hold on, let me find it for you. You can keep going. I'll try to find it.
I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee.
He's taking a drip of coffee. He's putting the coffee mug down. This is me stalling for him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, but God doesn't necessarily disapprove of us trying to reason and struggling with,
I was completely off. It says Isaiah chapter 1.
Isaiah chapter 1.
1 verse 18, I think. Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are as scarlet, they will be white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they will be like wool. Yeah.
Again. Come let us reason together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course God is talking about, our sin being a stain.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, like after that, he's talking about our sin being a crimson stain.
Right.
And it will be white as snow,
Right.
Right after that. But the come let us reason together is where it kind of clicked to me as to what God was doing for Job. First and foremost, God forgave Job because Job repented.
Yes, he did.
That's the first. Number two, God, in my opinion, and from Isaiah 1:18, I think it's a good conclusion to draw, is that God is willing to reason with us, and I think he approve. Like, although he doesn't approve of everything we might say and do through the thought process, but he approves that we are actually thinking through it, not just, well, I'm going to believe in God because my mama told me. No.
It's got to be a real belief.
Belief.
Yeah.
It's got to be a real belief, which means, yes, you have to reason your way through it.
Right.
Anyway.
Sometimes you have to work your way through stuff. You know,
sometimes you
a lot of philosophers actually end up doing that.
Right. That doesn't sound good.
What doesn't sound? Oh, it probably just needs cleaned.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I was watching a comedy sketch of a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
This is another Brett Stein sketch, and he was talking about how this atheist came to God, or became an atheist became a theist.
Right.
And he was just like intelligent design theory. So the atheist reasoned himself into being a theist because of. So.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's epic.
So it's clear to me that God gave us a rational mind.
Monotheistic theory.
Not atheistic theory. But,
monotheistic theory.
Yeah. But
so
anyway.
the Bible?
Pretty much, yeah.
Except that's not a theory, but
that's not a theory.
It's proven fact.
Right.
Unarguably.
Yep.
Unquestionably.
Okay, we're getting off track.
No, we're very much on track.
We are very much on track.
For once, I actually kept us on.
Yay. We're on track, but anyway. So, yes, God approved of Job mentally struggling with.
Yeah, that was fine.
What was happening?
That was fine. In fact, he even told the devil that was going to happen. He said, okay, but he's not going to fall away, which, but technically speaking, that was true at that point in time.
The issue is what Job said while he was struggling.
Well, the issue was what happened after.
Right.
After the initial struggle.
Right.
All right, we're back. Sorry, I'm not sure why my Mac is being Mackie. It's
Anthony Mackie.
It keeps popping out my SSD. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
we'll figure it out. We'll
that's
work out the
extra technical.
Yeah.
My Mac probably just needs restarted. It's been going. It's had a day.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but yeah, my point, what I was going on about before I stopped, was
it missed a really good bit too.
It missed a really good bit, but anyway, so the best thing Job's friends did for him, the entire book, was that end of chapter 2,
right,
where they sat down with him. They had their clothes run. They were in sackcloth and ashes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sitting there being silent with him.
Right.
They should have stayed silent.
They should have just stayed silent.
Because if you look at chapter 3, and I'm going to reference the bit that we just did. Nathan got a rant last episode. It's my turn.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. But anyway, if you look at chapter 3 of Job, it's not Job. Like, Job is saying, like, woe is me. My life is horrible.
Right.
But that's not I don't think he is in the wrong at that point. I think he's just in that period of time where he's just like, there is something weighing on my, like,
right,
on me, and I need to get it off to anybody who will listen.
It wasn't until after Job's friends started speaking.
It wasn't until after that. If Job's friends had stayed silent, and they just let Job say his piece, just like, and then Job would have been like, I know God is just, but I'm innocent, blah, 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 blah. God.
Yeah, as soon as he responded, he was wrong. It's very interesting, though, because Job didn't, up until after his friends spoke to him, Job hadn't sinned yet.
Right.
Job was actually absolutely correct.
Right.
I mean, woe is me. Well, yeah, that is a woe.
Right.
If you're covered in sores and sick and lost all your family, yeah, duh.
Lost all your family, all your belongings.
Of course you're going to be saying woe is me. Everyone would say woe is me.
Woe is me.
When Jesus was out 40 days in the desert without food.
Right.
How do you think he felt?
Woe is me.
After Satan tempted him and everything, what happened?
He was just like...
He got a freaking meal.
Well, okay. Okay. Brief side note. This is kind of talking about...
We're talking about a perfect character, I understand.
We're talking about perfect character. But brief sidetrack.
brief.
One of the temptations never really made sense to me. And that's the one where Satan's like, "Hey, look at all this stuff. I'll give you all this stuff if you bow to me." And Jesus is like, "I own it, boy."
Satan's not that smart. People give Satan too much credit. He's really not that smart.
He's clever.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? The stupidity of Satan is remarkable. He was in heaven
praising God,
and then chose himself instead of God, got sent down to hell because he wanted to be like God. God said, "Well, be careful what you wish for. Here you go." And technically speaking, a lot of people incorrectly state that angels had a second chance. No. That is incredibly incorrect.
No.
That is way beyond incorrect.
No.
The angels already were in the presence of God 24/7 daily.
Right. Well, that was before time began.
That was okay. They were there.
They were there. But I get your meaning. They were there just uninterrupted.
That time, that at that point, Lucifer was and still is Lucifer, but Lucifer dash Satan now. But at that point in time, when Lucifer was starting to rebel, that rebellion like that doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
Those thought processes have to develop.
Right.
Even if it's a few days, days time, it has to develop. And so those angels, Satan probably went running up to them and said, "Hey, I got this here idea."
Exactly.
And
some of the angels said that's a stupid idea.
Notice how the angels, or God didn't actually rebuke the angels until the rebellion started.
Right.
When that rebellion started, then God made it clear.
Then God was like, "No, you're done."
Yeah, you made your choice.
You have made your choice.
So the angels that are in heaven
are there
still. They're there forever.
They've made their choice.
That's solid. They made their choice. So when people say that there wasn't a second chance,
no,
not in the way that humanity got a second chance.
Humanity.
I'll put it that way.
Humanity got a second chance in the form of Jesus, and
the angels got a second chance in the form of their choice.
To your point, to that point, and this is sort of on track because we're talking about God's
justice. Yeah.
But to your point, God, none of the obviously Jesus interacted with several demons, and on at least one occasion he interacted with several demons in one body.
Legion.
Yeah, Legion.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I will be the first one to admit that did we get everything that Jesus did during his 3-year ministry? No.
It's actually recorded that we didn't.
Yeah. The 4 writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. 3 of them were there when this Jesus, and it's
one of them was Luke was.
Yeah, Luke wasn't there, but he went
historical.
He went and studied the Jesus out of that thing.
He studied the Jesus out of that thing.
Exactly.
He studied. He did. He went to the source.
He went everywhere. And again, I'm going to reference our pastor David Pierce. He's going through Luke right now, and he brought a, and we're in the first couple chapters right now. We're just starting Luke, and he brought up a point a week or so ago, and he was just like. And he was reading something about how Mary reacted to. He was talking about how Mary reacted to the announcement of Jesus, and David said, "Guys, the only reason Luke knows this is because he went and talked to Mary."
Right. That's crazy, man.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
He went and talked to Jesus' mom.
Like, hey, Jesus' mom, let's get you mic'd up here.
Right. Right. Let's do an interview real quick.
Mary was just like, I got a story to tell you. Of course, she was probably old.
She was probably old.
Probably like
He probably went and interviewed
great
her.
grandma age.
He probably went and interviewed her probably closer.
Well, she would have, no, I guess she would have been in her 60s or 70s.
She would probably been in her 70s.
Because Luke was written in what, 60? 60 something?
And she was.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. Because when Jesus started his ministry, she would have been in her 40s. In her mid to late 40s.
Okay, 80 to 90 AD.
Oh, she was
She'd have been old.
She was probably in her 80s then.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
That's old.
Luke was written in 80 to 90, but that doesn't mean he wasn't doing his research.
Well, Mary was that's true, but Mary was a teenager when
right.
she had Jesus. And his mission didn't start until he was
30.
Well, then Luke would have, the rest of the apostles would have been real old too.
Right.
The ones that were still alive.
Right.
Because John was a great grandpa by the time he died.
Right. Well,
he was old.
Okay, let's get this back on track. Yeah.
We got a few more minutes, by the way.
We got a few more minutes, and I think we're gonna. This will probably be the last part of this.
The last time before it crashes again.
Right. But yeah. So, obviously, God's relationship with the fallen angels, and then His relationship with us as humanity, just giving us. Mm-hmm. He gave us. I don't like using this term. But,
Say it.
But God gave us an out.
No, that's a good term. That's a good term.
It feels wrong, but it's a good.
It's accurate.
It's accurate. God gave us an out. He said
He gave us an out.
He gave us an out, and again, witnessing the interactions we have of Jesus and the demons in this world, or while Jesus was on earth, they never came up. They knew who he was.
Right.
They knew who Jesus was.
Right.
Make no mistake, y'all. The demons knew exactly who Jesus was.
The demons knew exactly who Jesus was.
Even Satan knows exactly who Jesus was, and he still tempted him.
You're going to transition to outro here?
Yeah. But none of them ever asked for forgiveness. So.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I guess that's...
I don't know if the outro is going to work today, actually. I don't think it's going to. That's fine.
All right. It's all right. Well, I'll have you can do
do bididoo bum 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 bum.
No, I meant editing.
No, that's lame.
Daniel, you know I'm right. All right, y'all.
Like,
comment, subscribe.
Patreon.
Go down to the Patreon.
Patreon's depressingly sad.
It is.
Yeah.
Go down to our Patreon. If you feel like supporting us, you get several perks off of that.
We need to upload perks.
We kind of do, yeah.
It's kind of depressing.
Okay.
Michael, if you're listening to this, I'll ship your stuff out soon.
Okay.
Message to my brother.
Message to your brother. Which you could have just texted him. I don't know why you didn't.
It's better if I tell him. Face to camera.
Wait till you're off camera. Wait till you're off camera. Wait till you're off camera.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Have a good night, y'all.
Peace out.
Bye. Oh, I love it.